Okay, we'll start discuss this afternoon. And as I told you, when you are having lecture with one of the experts in the area of fish health that came last week, I told you he has actually made the work easier for me. So all what I'm going to do is just to buttress what he has said is in line of what I need to teach you, and maybe put an emphasis or elaborate on some issue which he did not really mention. So pay attention, write your notes. I'm not going to give you any notes, but your note is in Modern Fish Farming Techniques, chapter 11. So go and read it, understand it very well. And if you don't have the copy, go to the bookshop and get it. And advise every one of you that the book is very important for you. By the time you start practicing, that is when you know the importance, or when you actually graduate from the university. So it's very important you have a copy. Read chapter 11, that will be your notes, in addition to what we are going to teach you. And meanwhile, I will make the recording available through your class rep later on. Okay. Now, I will start with this, that the majority of fish health problems in fish population, especially disease problems, are directly linked to stress on fish from some environmental factors. Last week, Dr. Jeff made this one to clear to you that stress is one of the major factors. And sincerely, if stress is being minimized, there's tendency for the fish not to have challenges in terms of diseases or being exposed to diseases. So most often than not, disease problems are directly linked to stress on fish from some environmental factors. When we talk about environmental factors, we talk about where they live. Fish cannot live outside water. So the environmental factor is the water, is a facility where they are being kept. So there is a direct relationship that exists between environmental quality, fish health, and diseases. Now, I will show you the relationship. Now, you must have seen this similar trimodal cycle. If you reflect on what Dr. Jeff actually taught you last week, I think it shows something similar like this, talking about the environment, the pathogens, and the individual. The individual is the fish. Now, there is a point of emergence where the three environmental pathogens and the fish, which we refer to as individual, please mute yourself. If not, I will remove you. Who is that person disturbing us? Okay, so at this point, that is when the fish have actually reached elastic limit. And from your basics physics, what is elastic limit? Yes? What is elastic limit? Olarewaju, what is elastic limit? You are the one disturbing us. Yusuf, Olarewaju. Okay, who can help us? What is elastic limit, or what do you understand by elastic limit? Hello, are you there? Are you hearing me?
Sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
are
the
you
elastic. Yes, sir.
okay?
Sir, the elastic limit is the amount of stress the fish can tolerate without getting sick or dying.
Okay, after that elastic limit, what will happen?
Sickness or death, sir.
Okay, good. So there is a point in which they will be stressed. After getting to that on-return point, that is when they will break down completely. And that is what is happening here. Where the pathogens, you see, above this, where they meet, the fish can still endure the environmental factor, the pathogens will still be swimming, the individual will be swimming. But, you know, the elastic limit is when he can actually swim around. But by the time we get to this point, where the three meet, that is when the fish will break down. So it's very important for you to actually understand this trimodal cycle. Any question on this? Any question? No response.
No,
Are you in
sir.
the class at all, or you just on your this system and you are cooking?
Sir, we are here, sir. No question, sir.
We are here, sir.
Okay. Oh. Now, the following are practical definition of stress, health, and diseases. Now, this is very definition are very important. Now, what is stress? How do you define stress? Stress is an abnormal physiological condition of fish, resulting when its collective adaptive responses to an environmental factors are extended to or are approaching the fish limit of tolerance for that factor. Stress is abnormal. So the key words is very important, abnormal physiological condition. The moment the fish is not actually responding, you know, in the normal way, it becomes abnormal. So that means something must have triggered that, which is stress. And when its collective adaptive responses to an environmental factor are extended, that is when it's actually extended to, the elastic limit has been extended to the extent that the fish cannot tolerate that factor. So he cannot tolerate the extension any longer. It now gets to the breaking point. So at that point, we say that the fish is stressed. So this definition is very important. Now, we also look at health. How do we define health? Health is the standard or typical condition of fish with the respect to normalcy of body function. With respect to normalcy of body functions and diseases at any given time. A healthy fish is optimally functioning and free of abnormalities caused by stress and disease. Is a standard or typical condition of fish with respect to normalcy. That means he's normal. The body functions are normal. And disease at any given time. So even when they're diseased, they were able to provide the immune system. Or rather, let me also give this example. Have you ever noticed when you are stressed, so to say, maybe when you overwork yourself here and there, for so long, for almost a week or 2 weeks, what is the first symptom that you normally notice? Yes, who can tell us? Yes, anyone?
Loss of appetite. Loss of
Loss
appetite.
of appetite. Apart from loss of appetite, what again?
Tiredness.
Tiredness, yes.
Weakness, sir.
Weakness, yes. What again? Yeah, weakness. Sometimes you begin to having a kind of pain in your joint, and headache. You notice that, okay, you begin to feel you notice too well that something is not really right with you. At that point, your immune system has actually gone down. And all what you need to do at that time is to have rest, one, or to take medication. Please, if you disturb us again, I will remove you from this class. Yusuf, I told you the other time. Huh? Okay. So when you are being stressed, you notice that you begin to feel, in fact, sometimes you'll not be able to coordinate yourself here and there. It's because your immune system cannot fight any longer. For the first 2 weeks in which you are still coping, is because your immune system, is able to withstand the stress. But when the immune system is stressed to the point that it cannot tolerate it any longer, that is when you begin to see all those symptoms. And that's the breaking point. And if it's not well addressed, he can break a man down. And that's why when you notice such a thing, you say, oh, I need some rest. Oh, let me take some medication. You understand? Just to relax my muscles and what have you. So that will actually help you, to regain your strength after some time. So what about disease? Disease is abnormal condition of fish. It's abnormal condition of fish where body functions are impaired as a consequence of stress, inherent weakness, or infection. It's abnormal condition of fish where body functions are impaired. That means the immune system is already down as a consequence of stress, inherent weakness, or infection. So that is the definition of disease. So it's very important for you. I told you I will remove you and you won't be able to log in again. Anybody that is disturbed, I will remove. And we do cancel the name of the person. Anybody that I remove, cancel it from the attendance. I'm also taking the attendance.
Okay, sir.
So the definition of stress, health, and disease is very important. So you have to take note. Now, the figure 1 gives the illustration of direct relationship between fish stress, health, and disease. Now, when there is stress, it will impair the head of the fish. And that will prone exposure to diseases. So the moment the fish is stressed, it will affect the head of the fish. The immune system will be broken down. It will expose the fish from external attack. That is the disease. So this just illustrates the relationship between the stress disease and the impaired health of the fish. Now, it is also very important to know that the impact of stress on fish depends on two major factors. The impact of stress on fish depends on two major factors. What are the two major factors? Duration and magnitude. So the impact of fish or the impact of stress on fish depends on the duration and magnitude of the stress condition. What do we mean by duration? The timing. If the fish is being exposed to pollutants over a long period of time, it will weaken the immune system. Now, if it's just for a short time, it can regain back his strength because of the activity of the immune system. But if it's exposed over a period of time, that is when it actually reach the elastic limits. That is when it will break down. And that's why we say that the impact of stress of fish depends on the duration. That is the timing. For example, you expose fish to stress for 1 day or 2 days, and you return it back to the water, with time, it will get normal. But if the exposure now is being extended for almost a week, that will have effects on the fish. Then the magnitude talks about the concentration. For example, if you expose fish to a pollutant of 5 mil, it may not really affect the fish, but if you increase the concentration to 15, it will even kill the fish. At 5 mil, maybe the fish can still struggle, move around, maybe occasionally eat. But the moment you increase the level of pollutants to 15 mil, it can immediately, weaken the fish, and the fish can die. So, and that's why we say that these two factors are very important, the duration and magnitude. Now, how do you define death? Death is the ultimate result. But some lethal stress condition cause reduced fish growth, low yield, poor feed conversion, poor health, including pathological disease. So the ultimate of fish being stressed, the ultimate result is death. But there are some lethal stress conditions. In that wise, the fish may not grow. And you see them, you either somersaulting in the water or using their body to rub the wall of the facility, or standing in a vertical position, or having a very poor feed conversion, that is, they won't eat, or they are not even responding to feed. So in that wise, they are subleather. They are subleather. They may not die, but you know too well that they are not in good condition of health. Now, look at this picture, the plate. Now, have you noticed anything there? Anyone? What do you notice? Hello?
There are dead fishes, sir.
Okay. There are dead fishes. But do you notice that it seems there is a sudden occurrence. You know, it's in the very open water. And maybe overnight, you come back and you find them here. What do you think can contribute to this? Yes?
Maybe toxins.
Yeah?
Toxins.
Maybe. I can't hear you.
I said maybe toxins.
Yes, pollutants. So that means the concentration of pollutants, that's why we said that it depends on the duration and the magnitude. So the magnitude of the pollutants here assumed to be very, very high. And immediately it makes the system to collapse immediately. And that's why all of them are floating. Do you get it now? So it depends on the duration and magnitude. So the magnitude of the pollutant in this water is very high. That is the level of pollutant. And that's why you see them floating. Okay. Now, during your last week lecture, you know, I was trying to also come in that Dr. Jeff did not explain that we have different kind of stressor. And I made mention of his during your class. He did not mention that. So that is additional information that you need to understand. There are many known types of stressors and can be grouped under 4 major categories. As I mentioned last week, we have chemical stressors, we have biological stressors, we have physical stressors, we have procedural stressors. Okay? Now, what are the chemical stressors? Look at this figure. From the figure, what are the chemical stressors? Yes? Somebody?
Water, chemistry, pollution, metabolic.
Okay. So that one is actually related to water, the water chemistry, either in terms of level of the soft oxygen, pH, BOD, COD, nitrate level, all those ones are biochemical, water chemistry. Now, when we are talking of pollution, generally the pollutants can also is in the water. Metabolites, that is even from their waste. The level of nitrate from the feed, the breaking down of those nitrite and nitrates in the water, those are metabolic waste. Okay, what about procedural? What do you understand procedural? Yes, another person?
You'll be taking attendance soon.
Who are those people disturbing? I'm asking questions and you are disturbing us. What are the procedural stressors? I'm asking you. Is there? I want you to explain. Alama 2. Yes, Alama 2. Okay, Grace, explain.
Procedural refers to maybe like you explained how you handle fish during, let's say, sorting.
Yes.
That's a procedural type of stress that can happen on fishes.
Yes.
Then there's transporting, stocking,
transporting, that is when you are taking from one place to the other, there will be stress. And
yes,
I made note that, okay, in order to avoid stress during transportation, what are you expected to add to the water?
Salt, sir.
Salt. Apart from salt, I mentioned another chemical last week.
Oil.
Not oil. Oil is not yet scientifically proved, although, okay, there are some publications on that. But what quantity of oil? I may mention of potassium permanganate, you add it.
Yes, sir.
But majorly, you add salt. Now, if you look at most of the fish retailers, many of them are not educated, but they know they have a little understanding of science. The reasons of adding oil is to break the water surface to allow atmospheric oxygen to dissolve. And that's why they always add palm oil. Not only that, palm oil contains some vitamins. And that one will be absorbed through their body to calm them. And that's why they're using oil. Okay, during stocking also, yes, continue.
You make sure that I think the tank is treated beforehand and it doesn't surpass the stocking capacity.
Okay. So what again?
Treating for pests.
Yeah.
I think this refers to the type of chemicals you are going to use to treat for pests.
Yeah. Yes. And what again?
I can see anesthesia here.
Yes,
But I don't understand.
anesthesia is to calm them. Now, sometimes, if you are not careful, you can give overdose of anesthesia and it can react and will make them to even die. So, procedure handling by even giving them anesthesia must be with care, must be with caution when you are giving the anesthesia. Okay? Then we talk about physical when you are talking about the temperature, light, sound. They don't like sound. They can be frightened, when you shake the tank or you make noise. You see they will react. Low level of dissolved oxygen or oxygen syrup or gas separation. Then the biological, we talk about population density. You talk about the confinement, where they are. Then you talk about the diet composition, microorganism, and fright. So all these are stressors. So it's very important for you to understand all this. Okay, any question on this? No question. Okay. Now, fish health management practices aim to prevent fish disease. So several fish health management is achieved by prevention of disease rather than treatment. And this is the common saying that prevention is always better than cure. So when you try to prevent diseases, you won't spend much money in treatment because treatment takes a lot of money and resources, and it can be prevented. In good farm management, rarely can you see fish diseases to the extent that, okay, it's contagious. It's very rare. With good management, there may not be any incident of fish diseases. Now, the maintenance of good fish health is critical to profitable fish culture. Slow growth, poor feed efficiency, low yield, increased disease incidence and mortality, and consequently low profitability are the result of poor fish health. So when the farmers are not making profit, when fish are not growing, when their feed conversion ratio, when the yield is very low, it shows that indeed there is a problem. and that may reduce the profitability of the farmer. So since physiological stress is fundamental cause of most of fish health problems, particularly health management, is based on the premise that avoid fish stress and avoid fish health problem. So majorly fish health is what actually expose the fish to diseases, to infection. If we're able to manage the stress very well, the outbreak of fish diseases may be minimal in our water body. So good management is the key to avoid essentially all health problems, whether stress-related or not. Fish of good genetic quality, handled properly, stocked disease-free in ponds or cages with good water quality and feed properly with nutritionally complete feed are very unlikely to become disease. So when you have a good management in terms of good feeding, proper handling, disease-free pond, that means you have actually treated your pond either by washing with salt or disinfecting it by using lime, sodium, calcium carbonate, or agricultural lime, to disinfect the pond. After doing that, and with good quality of water, with good nutrition, that's likely for the fish not to be diseased. Okay. Any questions so far? Who is that person that is in the market? Who is that person that is in the market? Midu, are you there? Midu. Precious.
Sir, I'm here, sir.
Anyway, when are they going to clear the hostel? Many people are even inside the vehicle. And when they ought to be listening to the lecture.
Sir, they said Saturday.
Saturday, okay.
Some, but not all the hostels.
Not all the hostels.
Yes, they only open few.
The way you people are behaving, maybe we'll have physical class. Because a lot of people are not following, and the attendance now, we have less than 30. Or how many of you? Yes, 20, 25. Anyway, the attendance is very important too. Fish diseases. The first clue of a disease is often that fish take less feed. That is the first sign. When you see that they are not responding to feed. Other symptoms follow their behavioral changes. They may look sick, and there are often change of color or even bleeding. So these are the symptoms of the fish that is being diseased. Okay. Now, what are the modes of transmission? We have what we call parasitic transmission by contact with infected fish through pores. We have nutritional, that is unbalanced, irregular, inadequate feeding, as well as excess or shortage of vital nutrients in feed. We have environmental, that is pollution of the environment. We have abnormalities, that is unbalanced feeding or poisoned feed and environment. So all these are the mode of transmission of diseases. Now let's look at the classification of fish diseases. Fish disease can be classified according to the causes of the disease. Based on this, there are three major groups. We have what we refer to as parasitic or infectious diseases, or those due to occurrence of pathogenic parasites in the fish. The second one is nutritional diseases, those caused by malnutrition. And the third one is environmental diseases. That is, those due to producing water-soluble toxins or competing for oxygen. So those are the three major classification of fish disease. Now, type of fish diseases. We have what we refer to as non-infectious diseases. And non-infectious diseases are environmental problem, nutritional deficiency, genetic abnormalities. And this one will say that they are non-contagious. It cannot be transferred from one fish to the other, or from even the fish to the consumer. But the second one is the infectious diseases. Those are the parasitic, bacteria, virus, fungus, algae. Those ones are contagious. But it's also very important to tell you that it's very rare or uncommon for fish to affect the consumer, because during the process of actual boiling, only if you eat it raw. So diseases of fish are not really contagious. During the process of value chain or processing generally, most of these diseases must have been eliminated. Okay. Any question on this? Any question? Is it very
No, sir.
clear?
Yes, sir.
Very clear. Okay. Now, what is the difference between parasite and endoparasite? Or what do you understand by ectoparasitic and endoparasitic? Yes, anyone? Chinelo, is she there?
Yes, sir.
What is ectoparasitic or ectoparasites?
Sir, ectoparasites are those that are outside, that's on the body of the fish, like the skin and the fins, just the places that it can reach on the outside body of the fish.
Okay. What about endo?
So endo are those parasites that are inside the body of the fish. They mostly attack the organs
Can you
or
give
the system.
example of organs?
Sir?
What are the example of the organs? Okay, they are you are already seeing my slide, so you already know the answer, Abi. What are the types of the organs you are talking about?
So like the kidney and the liver.
Okay, kidney and the liver. Okay.
So is the gills part of them?
Yes, it's also part of the internal organ now. Gills is part of them.
Yes, sir.
It's part of the internal organ. So ectoparasitic disease affect the external body of the fish, such as the scales, the skin, the fin, and the eyes. They are external. While endoparasitic disease affect the internal body organ or tissue of the fish. And those of you that are doing maybe any project on toxicity, maybe your supervisor will ask you to do histopathological analysis. You need to take the organs to look at it under microscope, to look at the damages of the tissues. And that is the essence of looking at the effect of the organs. looking at the effect of their diseases on the organs. We call them tissues. Gill, liver, kidney, spleen, and other parts of even the intestine, you can even check it. So those ones we refer to them as endoparasitic. Now, the causative parasites of parasitic disease are bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoan, worms, crustacea, and muscle larvae. All these are referred to as parasitic diseases. And look at it like this. We have bacteria, we have virus, fungi, algae, and parasites, and all these can affect the fish. They can affect the fish in water body. Now, major disease causing factors. What are the major disease causing factors? One, suboptimal water quality. When the water quality is not up to the range for the fish to survive. The second one is poor nutrition. When you didn't give them balanced diet, or when in the process of compounding your feed, or in order to reduce the cost, you remove some ingredients because they are costly. For example, vitamin C, which invariably can cause a broken head disease or rotting of the fins. So poor nutrition can cause a disease. Then immune system depression associated with stressful condition. I think I've explained this one, that when the immune system is being stressed, is being overstressed, it depresses the immune system and is majorly associated with stressful condition. Okay, I think this is clear enough. Now, what about the prevention? How do you prevent? One, good quality water management. Knowing too well that fish live in water, so there must be a good water for them to survive. Then in terms of nutrition, have a good balanced diet. Then sanitation, then biosecurity is also very important. And that's what we call best management practices, BMP. Your normal routine must be a best management practices. What time do you feed your fish? What time do you change your water? What time do you, if you are using recirculatory, on your recirculatory system, what time do you on your light? So all those are under best management practices. Then rigorous health monitoring system. There is equipment now that you can use to even, scan your fish to know the state of their health. So rigorous health monitoring system is also required in order to prevent diseases. Then solid introduction of policy. Solid introduction policy, that is, you must have a policy. For example, where you have your archery, you don't allow people to just come in. Years back, maybe in 2013 or 14, it was the set of Dr. Bracken. How many of you know her in the department? Bracken, do you know her? Egbedi, how many of you know her?
We know her, sir.
Good. During their practical, I think I was teaching them fish breeding and genetics, and I asked them to breed. It was at the basement. Years back, when I had enough time, I always count them in the PG lab. They would sleep over to do all the processing and all so that they were able to understand all the procedure very well. They would be checking the temperature of the water every 2 hours. And at the same time, then we are using recirculatory system. And they were able to also monitor the fish and also ensure that the water is running properly. So they were camped in the lab. Now, very early in the morning, they were so excited that, oh, the fish they produce, it has hatched. So all of them are excited. They now begin to call their friends. Please come and see. Oh, we are able to produce fish now. We are fish breeding experts here and there. Unfortunately, one of their colleagues, in marine biology, is working on pollution, that is using chemicals. Maybe the person was trying to introduce chemical into his plastics and forgot to wash his hand. And he entered the hatchery and he was so excited. He doesn't know when he actually put his hand into the water just to feel, the presence of the fish. Lo and behold, after an hour, all the fish in the tank died. And that is because they were so carefree, negligence, and they allow people into their facility. So there must be a solid introduction policy. You don't allow people to just come into your hatchery anyhow. If at all, there must be a quarantine, system being put in place so that at least they will actually wash their hands or their feet there, or give them special shoe to wear, or hand glove, or even lab coats for them to put on before they enter your facility. Okay, any question on this? So you can read more in your modern fish farming techniques. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, it's very clear. So if I decided to give you test by next week, you are ready. Is that what you are saying? Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Yes,
sir.
Okay, can we have test next week? No response again.
No, sir. Please, sir. No, sir.
Why? I asked
No,
you
sir.
one question, you said no. That means you understand everything. Okay, anyway, read chapter 11 in your modern farming technique. And I won't tell you when we are going to have the test. I'll just call you because by next week I expect you to be in your hostel. So anytime from next week, we may have test. So be prepared and read ahead.
Be prepared.
Okay, if you don't have any question, maybe we'll call it a day. Precious,
Sir.
you are within the faculty.
Sir, I can't hear you, sir. What did you say, sir?
Are you within the faculty?
No, I'm at the garden, sir.
Okay, when you are through, bring the attendance.
Okay, sir.
So I have 25 people that are in the class, 25. So it should not be more than 25. Okay, when are we having the next class? Precious, next week.
Yes, sir. Anytime, sir.
Okay. So I will tell you when I will be free next week.
Okay, sir.
So enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.